Testing. 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 1, 2, 3.
T-E-S-T-I-N-G.
This is our first one, so no pressure, you know. Also, let's be honest, this mic isn't working, so we're technically just filming a YouTube video right now, but it is what it is. Oh my god, I'm so nervous. Okay, so this is gonna be posted on Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody, whether you're single in a relationship by yourself, lonely AF, you just got broken up with, going through a divorce, just got married, you're a widow. You know, the list goes on. But today we're gonna be talking about love, self-love, relationships, and so much more. I feel like, let me take a sip of my matcha first. If you have me on social media, you know that I am in a relationship now.
You got a boyfriend.
I got a boyfriend.
You got a boyfriend? You got a boyfriend?
I got a boyfriend.
Oh, you got a boyfriend?
And I haven't been in a relationship in like 4 years, which is a very long time. So my perspective on relationships right now is kind of different. Let's talk about you. Do your introduction. Who are you? And are you single, married, or in a relationship?
Married, of course.
Love that for you.
No, I am actually in the process of pursuing somebody, and so I'm kind of in that stage of love, I'd say.
I know all the details, they cannot be shared online because, you know, confidentiality. That's why I dropped out of SDSU.
But I've actually never been in a relationship before.
Okay.
So every person that I've talked to just never really worked out. And so we have that perspective of somebody who is in a relationship, who has been in a relationship, versus somebody who is new to it and getting into it.
The reason why I wanted to start this podcast, honestly, in general, it's not just gonna be based around love. I have so many things that I wanna talk about, but this one specifically is because I noticed that entering this new relationship, I found myself to have a lot of struggles within my own being and own self, and it really kind of like slapped me in the face a bit because being single for so long, I mastered self-love, I would say, and I mastered like being alone, and also thinking that I fixed like my childhood traumas and stuff. I thought I was completely good.
Yeah.
But what I learned,
never the case. That's never the case.
Here's that. But what I learned is that I did heal the version of myself as single Daniela. That's a person who is healed, you know? But entering a new relationship Daniela is who I don't think I had healed yet in a weird way. And I saw this TikTok the other day that I wanted to like share to you. And she pretty much explained what I just said. Like she was like, I thought I healed myself completely, but entering a new relationship, like all these wounds were reopened. Do you feel that in a way?
Yeah, it kind of like exposes the stuff that you never knew you needed to heal from.
Yeah.
And that comes from fear. Fear that you never knew that you felt until you were put in that position to where you had to feel it.
Exactly.
So, I know, yeah.
And it's very uncomfortable.
Very scary.
Yeah, it's not uncomfortable in the sense where like I don't want to do it, but it's just like, damn it, I thought I got this done already.
And you know what that leads to? Self-sabotage.
Oh. We know about that.
Self-sabotage.
We know about that. We know about that. Yeah, she was explaining that what she realized she had done is she thought she was like so woke to her childhood trauma and trauma that she had experienced in like previous relationships and stuff. But all she really did was like recognize it and then not really like resolve it. Like she saw it and she thought it was like, oh, I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
But all she did was put a blanket over it and was like, okay, well, I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
But entering that new relationship that she's in, she realized like, oh, it's still under the blanket.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
A first question for you then.
Okay.
So after you recognize those, how would you go about dealing with it if not just suppressing it?
I'm gonna be honest, it's still something that I feel like I am and will be dealing with for a while, especially with my partner.
Yeah.
Luckily, the partner who I have is super patient and he's understanding and he takes his time with allowing me to express myself how I need to. But it really sucks because I do think I don't have an answer to that yet because I haven't figured it out yet, you know?
Because you're still going through it.
Yeah.
And it's a process. It could be a very long process. It could take years just for you to finally love yourself in a relationship. Because loving yourself in a relationship is different than loving yourself being single. Those are two completely different things.
That part.
Yeah.
That part, dude. That part. That part hits different. Yeah, that one specifically. What are your plans for Valentine's Day? Today, because today is Valentine's Day because they're gonna say Valentine's Day. So what are your plans for today for Valentine's Day?
Okay, pause though, because I don't know if I should talk about it. So for Valentine's Day, I actually don't know.
I don't know
like,
either.
I know that I have a Valentine's Day date.
Yeah.
But because me and my the person that I'm tagging my Valentine's Day, we are very equal, and so we've been on a couple dates so far, and because of how equal we're trying to be, we're kind of taking turns on planning each date. So the most recent one, I planned it. Okay. And this next one, my partner wants to plan. Yeah. You know, and so I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing what I'm gonna do. I don't know, but
this is also our first Valentine's Day with somebody. Valentine. Yeah.
This is my first Valentine's Day date.
Me neither. I actually don't know what I'm doing for Valentine's Day today. I have no plans, and I'm actually like, if my man sees this, I'm waiting on him to plan something because I want to see if he's gonna plan something. But I did get him a gift already. And I want to like give it to him already. It's not Valentine's Day yet, but
can you say what you gave him?
Yeah, because he's gonna get it today. So my man is really into disc golf, and I didn't know what that was until I started dating him. And it's actually super cute because he looks so cute when he plays. But it's pretty much like golf but for frisbee. And I got him like this little bag where he can put the discs in, and he already has like a huge ass one, but he needed a smaller one, so I got him that. And then I'm gonna get him his favorite journals that he likes to journal in, and then I might add a little brownie in there or something. I don't know, I haven't figured it out yet what else, but those are the two main things.
So how long have you been dating him again? We don't talk about timeline.
So we've been dating for going towards 3 months now. Okay. And I actually really like that you brought that up because timeline, I feel like, is so different for everybody. And I noticed that entering this new relationship, that was like the first thing everybody was always bringing up with me into this relationship. Like, it was like, you're either moving too fast, you're moving too slow, you're doing this too much, you're doing this too little, like, and it got overwhelming. And I feel like my biggest advice, I know it wasn't asked, but I'm gonna say it, when it comes to that, is honestly like not talking to people about your relationship as much as you think you should, or if you do speak on it, make sure that you're talking to good, solid individuals who like aren't gonna judge you for anything and are gonna be as open as you are with them. Yeah. Do you feel like there's a specific way? Because I know as a friend, between how I've taken my relationship versus how you've been taking this one, I think you definitely have held down on taking it slow, which is what
very different
I initially wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then it didn't go through with that. But how do you feel about the idea of timelines and like in your own life too, like how that's going?
Well, I don't think there is an ideal timeline because everyone is different. Everyone moves at a different pace. Yeah. And I think that just comes down to like how fast you trust your partner, or like how much time you want to spend with them and everything. But for me, I wanted to take it very, very slow. But that's just me personally, and that's because I have a lot of walls still built. Yeah. So that's something that I have to deal with.
You see that thing, that reoccurring thing of like, you still have to deal with your issues, and it's annoying because I feel like at that point, it's not annoying. I feel like it kind of feels, do you feel like it feels kind of like a burden?
Kind of, because it gets in the way.
Yeah.
Because all you do is you're trying to enjoy this moment, but you're also fighting yourself and your doubts and your insecurities. Yeah. And so I think when entering a relationship for the first time and you have all these things, you're starting to realize your worst enemy is yourself. And so
I know that's right, like literally. Okay, do you feel like you're more of like the dominant person in the relationship? And that doesn't necessarily mean like like financially, or just like, I don't like the term wearing the pants in the relationship. I feel like that sounds really like who's dominant. Yeah, like that's not what I mean, but do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Okay, because I'll talk about it like in my perspective after, but I want to hear like yours first. Like, so do you feel like you're more in the dominant sense of being in a relationship, or not really?
Kind of.
Okay.
Because I feel the need to protect this person.
Yeah.
And not let anything happen to this person.
That's sweet.
And so obviously there is that sense of like dominance. But obviously, you know, people when they say dominance and submissive and stuff, it kind of has that.
Yeah, it sounds really strong, but I don't mean it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I asked that because that's one thing that I feel like I struggled with big time when dating, in my dating life. Growing up, like I didn't really have a male figure who I was like, oh, well, I know that that's how a man should be treating me. So it made me become really independent, and like I can do everything. I can do my oil changes. I need to get car work done. I can figure it out, you know? And I noticed that would kind of get in between when I was in the dating scene, because I was always the one that's like, oh, I could pick you up, or like, oh, I'll pay, like I'll do that. And getting older and analyzing why I do that, it's just because it provided me comfort that I had a sense of control in what was happening. Like I knew the next step. I knew what we were doing next. It was like on my terms, you know? But entering this relationship that I'm in, I'm trying to learn to like not do that so much, because not that my partner should be taking care of me, but I want him to like feel and know that like he can do that. You know, like he can do that. He has a position to be able to do that, instead of me being like, no.
Yeah, because I think it kind of conveys a sense of like, I don't need you. And obviously from the other party, it would suck to feel like they don't need you. Exactly. Or they don't want you.
And in that too, like there's always a sense of independence. Like you have to have your own independence and individuality, of course. You should never lose that in a relationship. I've noticed ever since I started talking to my man, I keep wanting to say his name. Every time I started talking to my man, I noticed that I never would really say like relationship. I would always say like partnership. I don't know, it just sounds more like equal in a way. Relationship kind of, I don't know if the word relationship kind of scares me because of the stigma of what's been put on it and the rules of what needs to be in it. But I feel like a partnership to me is like two individuals still being themselves, but together, working together towards something.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm starving.
Okay, so cheers for the cupcake, and then we're gonna answer some questions that got asked to us. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm nervous because I feel like I didn't realize how vulnerable this was.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize how much I would have to be opening up about my relationship and like how things have been going, you know?
Yeah.
So of course we got a lot of questions asked about toxic relationships and just the entire idea of toxicness. Have you been in a toxic relationship or been in a toxic situation? Because I know you haven't been in a relationship yet, but like
100%.
Okay.
And that is the reason why I've never been in a relationship before, because the honeymoon stage was the exact opposite. It wasn't lovey-dovey, it was very toxic.
Really?
And so that's why.
With who? I'll blur it out.
Well, but I never had healthy going into anything, and so that's why the thought of something healthy makes me want to jump ship.
Do you think that like pattern kind of like pushed you away from wanting a relationship for so long?
Yeah.
Because you thought that that's what it was? Like, oh, that's what a relationship is?
Well, I knew that that isn't what a relationship should be or is.
Yeah.
But it's just more of like, I've been hurt so many times to the point where I've built my walls so high that it kind of prevents me from giving it a shot again.
Yeah.
So it's more of like that, just kind of like woundedness, I guess, and feeling like I'm not ready.
Gotcha.
But I say I'm not ready, but if I have an opportunity, then I'm gonna take it.
Then let's go. No, I feel that because I was surrounded, I feel like growing up, I feel like I have chocolate on my teeth, but growing up with like my parents being divorced and then my siblings, they also got into relationships like The 2 oldest ones are with their partners who they have been with since they were like 15. I haven't seen my ideal relationship as an example in my life. Yeah. So it did make me feel like, does this even exist? And I really felt for the longest time that I was gonna have to lower my standards to get some sense of a relationship in general. Yeah. So I won't be alone. And shout out to my friend Mark. People know who Mark is, hopefully on here. If you're new, he's like my bestie Westie since I was 13. He's in a super healthy relationship. And when I was entering this with, which I will blur that out, Mark was the first person to tell me, Daniela, you deserve this, but this is gonna be so fucking hard because you're gonna have to break cycles that you didn't know existed and just ideologies in general that you're gonna have to like not do, like, and not think about because you're entering something new and you're creating what you've always wanted with the partner who is willing to do it. It's so just hard.
It really is.
It's so hard.
I think for me, my problem is that I try so hard to avoid being hurt. And my way of doing that is always trying to be in control, be one step ahead, be guarded. And when that happens and that kind of takes control of me, obviously that doesn't work. It doesn't work in a partnership or a relationship. Because you're not letting the other person into your life completely. And so you're kind of blocking that pathway of trust. I'm not allowing myself to trust. That's the thing. So
and that's scary.
It is.
It's so fucking scary. The whole thing of trust is like, you just have to let go. If you're trying to like look for receipts and look for pictures or look for context over what they're saying, like that's not gonna take you anywhere, and it's gonna create that toxic cycle again, and then you're the toxic one instead of experiencing it with somebody else. You're the toxic one. Oh, okay. I love that we brought this up because now that we're both entering new beginnings, somebody had asked, what's one thing that you will not be bringing into this new partnership that you had experienced in the past?
I have to think about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna think about it for a second though. I think something that I'm gonna be bringing is...
something you're not gonna be bringing in.
Oh, shit.
Like you were toxic before, something that was bad that you're gonna try to fix in this next one.
Damn, that's hard.
That's why I said the thing that I said.
You see, I was thinking it the opposite. That's why I was like, oh, this is easy. I will not be bringing, is it codependency for my happiness?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not gonna be bringing codependency in.
That's a good one.
That's hard. Because I have the tendency of doing that when it comes to dating or having a partner. So I think entering this, that's something that I have had to struggle with and have also had to reel myself back and be like, keep doing what you normally do. Like he's not going anywhere, you know? And if he does, exactly.
So I'm gonna be real here,
okay,
and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people feel the same way.
Okay.
But when I am talking to somebody in that kind of way, I tend to need a lot of affirmation. Lots of affirmation. That. I need like
reassurance.
Like I need reassurance because I overthink a lot.
Yeah. And
when I start to overthink, I start to self-sabotage. And so I think in the past, because I was so dependent on reassurance, and when I didn't get it, I used to think, oh, this person probably doesn't even like me because they're not reassuring me. But the truth is not a lot of people are the same as me.
Yeah.
They're the kind of people that give reassurance.
Yeah.
And that's completely normal.
It sucks though.
It does,
because that's your love language.
That is, yeah. But you know, there does have to be that balance where that person does have to sacrifice their own, like, well, not sacrifice, but kind of bring more, like, to the table to accommodate to like what your love language is, and it's a partnership. You know, it's the same thing. That.
But I was gonna say right now, like, I feel like that's not a negative thing on your end, I think that's just like your love language, you know? Like that's just how you take in love.
Yeah.
And like a honest and patient partner will learn that. But is it like an excessive amount where you're like, oh, I really need to work on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, of course, everyone's gonna need reassurance.
Yeah.
Because everyone loves reassurance. Who doesn't?
Oh, that's literally my love language.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation. Like,
but for me, it's
remind me you like me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like every hour.
But I think for me, it's just because of the way I grew up. Like, I have wounds that drive the need for reassurance, and that's where the toxicity comes from. Because I could still want reassurance, and that's normal from a partner.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna want reassurance from their partner. But for me, it's only toxic because that need for reassurance is driven from the wounds that I have not healed yet.
That shit hurts.
Yeah.
Relationships are hard. Like that's really what this whole entire thing is about, because I feel like before entering this, my perception of love, especially with something healthy, was like, oh, it's gonna be a fairy tale and like a movie and like everything's gonna feel perfect and right. And no, if anything, I felt fear. I felt all the negative emotions that like everything. Like I felt like not rejection, but rejection to myself. Like don't do it, like leave, like
self-sabotage.
Yes, exactly. And I think same thing with my only experience of men being in my life is like chasing their love. Like that's what I've been shown to love from a male. It's like I have to chase their love or else they're gonna leave.
You have to earn it.
Yeah.
You have to work for it.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's not how it should be. So people keep asking like, how do you leave a toxic relationship? And I'm gonna be honest, like my last relationship was toxic. It was pretty toxic. I wouldn't have left that relationship if they wouldn't have broken up with me. Like honestly, like I'm gonna keep it real. Like I probably would have eventually, like because of just in my nature of who I am and like my mentality and stuff and getting older. But at that moment where I was in my life, I was not ready to leave that relationship. Like I wanted it so bad, and it was because it was comfortable, and it was because it was almost 3 years into being with somebody, you know?
It's the fear of not knowing any other way.
Exactly.
Just because you're so comfortable with how it's been. So it's hard to leave it.
And I think my advice to that now when it comes to leaving, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't want to be fake and be like, oh, like you should just like be there for yourself and like, you know, in your heart, like just
but you know that you only left because you got broken up with.
Exactly. Exactly. Which ended up being a blessing. Like so many great things happened. Like,
so the advice is make them break up with you. Be very toxic.
Be so toxic that they end it.
Yeah. To the point where they can't stand you anymore.
But honestly, how would you like answer that? How to leave a toxic relationship? And I think let's not just make it about significant others either. Let's do a general thing, whether it's a friendship, family, or a significant other. Because I think all in around, like all in all, that's still difficult to do no matter what.
I was in 2 relationships, and I don't mean relationship in a romantic way, but relationship with a person I was talking to and another relationship with a friend.
Yeah.
But both were very toxic, and I did not want to leave it.
It's hard.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave it, and the more I stayed, the more crazy I became.
Yeah.
But both times, it was my decision to leave. The most recent one was the one last year we weren't talking for like over a year. We were just talking for like a couple months.
Yeah.
But damn, I fell in love, and I did not.
Love makes you go fucking crazy.
It does.
Love makes you insane.
But I knew it was so toxic because I wasn't happy. I thought I was happy. I was like, this feeling must be happiness. This is kind of hard for a lot of people because everyone's different. Not everyone has the same kind of like, I don't know, momentum.
Yeah.
Or like decision.
Fucked up issues like us.
Yeah. But for me, I had to end it because I was tired. I was really tired.
You see, if you would have given me like a couple more months with my last partner, I don't think I would have ended it still. I don't know. Really? That was also 18-year-old Daniela. I'm now 22 and turning 23. So like I said, my ideas of relationships and everything in general is way different than what it was at that time. But I remember feeling really exhausted of it because it was just a cycle that was not ending with the toxicness. But I don't know what it was in me. I think it was because I didn't want to deal with heartbreak. I knew what it felt like. I knew the pain, and I was like, I don't want to deal with that. So I would rather be in a comfortable state. But I have had individuals in my life who have been in toxic relationships who, like, it hurts me because I'm like, dude, this is borderline bad, you know? And I try to give them advice too, but at the end of the day, when you've been in those shoes, you know it's gonna happen at your own time and your own pace. And it sucks because the people who haven't experienced that don't understand that, and they think it's a quick, like, I'm gonna leave, like, just leave, like, what are you doing? And they don't understand that, you know? Yeah. So I think that's a really difficult question, especially if it's with family and friends.
And you know what? It does take a lot of strength to leave, but once you actually leave, that's when you start to realize how bad it was.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You will always hear other people tell you how bad it was, but you don't actually understand it yourself until you're already gone.
Yeah.
Because for me, I didn't realize that I was taken advantage of with my body.
Yeah.
When I was, well, this person didn't force alcohol down my throat, but
yeah,
you know, like that night. And
are we leaving this in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That decision is really difficult to make, especially when you see good in a person and you want to look past the negative, even though it's like literally covering it all.
But you know what's the hard part? It's because when things go toxic, you have hope that it will be as good as it used to be.
I think now, do you still think of it like that now? Because I think now when I start feeling a sense of like, this isn't going well, I'm kind of like turned off, and I'm kind of like, this,
really?
Like, I'm done.
I think for me, it's because like I stick with the person because I miss who they used to be, and I want that person back. So that's why I stay.
Yeah. So I feel like we've been talking a lot about a lot of good things, to be honest. Switching over to like from relationships with a partner to like relationships with family and friends, because Valentine's Day doesn't need to be about relationships. Well, I spent it with my cousin for like the last 3 years. So I mean, I hope this day isn't the worst for everybody, because as somebody who is single, as somebody who was single, I've always loved Valentine's Day. So I hope that this day brings... No. I love the month of February.
Like, oh, so cute. I'm gonna die.
I love February. I do dislike that men, especially boyfriends and husbands, that they only give their wives or whatever, or boyfriend, girlfriend, flowers on Valentine's Day. Like, if you only give them flowers on Valentine's Day, what the fuck? Like, we're gonna have issues. Like, so I think something that I actually wanted to talk about, and I feel like I can get into the conversation about profoundly, is insecurities by yourself, and then insecurities with entering a relationship, having to deal with that. How do you deal with that? And is it something that you ignore, or do you face it? Like,
that's a great question.
So I'll touch on it first.
Okay.
My insecurities, and I'm gonna be real open here, is obviously, I mean not obviously, but like, it's of course like my body. And I feel like people are like, oh yeah, for sure. So my insecurity when entering a relationship is not so much my physical appearance in the sense of like my exterior form, when it comes to like this, like dating and dressing up and cute, whatever.
Yeah.
It seeps in when the clothes needs to be taken off. Like, and I'm gonna be very open about that, because I feel like this is a topic and a conversation within the plus size community that isn't talked about that much, or it is briefly, but it's always like,
you shouldn't be insecure, like self-love, like love yourself.
But that's really not the case, honestly, in reality, when it comes to having to remove that clothes and literally facing your fear with somebody seeing you in that way. I found for me that being transparent as I can be, even though that is so damn vulnerable and very hard and sometimes embarrassing. It's like the key to being able to move on from it, or just having your partner understand where you're at so that they could like bring you up in a way. Because I don't think I'm that insecure. I don't think I'm insecure when it comes to like jealousy and stuff. I mean, you talk to my man, you might get sucker punched, but
of course.
But like, I notice they really do seep in when it comes to being intimate. That's when they seep in.
Yeah, for you?
For me specifically, yeah. So when people talk about insecurities in a relationship, instantly it's like sex. Like that's what it
that's
does.
a very vulnerable place.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate too, because I have scars. I have keloid scars on my chest and my shoulders.
Yeah.
And obviously, when I were to take off my shirt in front of this person or something,
yeah,
that is something that I am very insecure about, because I've struggled with bad skin and scarring for years since I was little. And that's definitely something that could be on its own podcast episode.
Yeah, I know. We should do like another podcast about just insecurities.
Yeah.
And just about But briefly though, how would you figure that out or resolve that with your partner with having to deal with that? Because it can get in between big time the relationship.
I tell them in the beginning.
Honest conversation.
Because obviously when you start talking to somebody, you don't dive straight into very deep conversations.
Yeah.
But you know, when you do reach that point of like being vulnerable, at least for me, I start telling them about what I'm insecure about, and I already know what they're gonna say.
You're perfect.
Like,
You're
don't
so
worry
cute.
about that. It's not even that
I
bad.
like you just the way you are.
Exactly.
Babe, keep telling me that though.
I usually tell them in the beginning, because that's kind of like you're dealing with the elephant in the room. You're ripping off the band-aid already. And so I think with me telling them about my insecurities kind of in the beginning, it provides me kind of reassurance, like, okay, because I'm telling them this in the beginning and they still have the opportunity to leave and they don't, and they still accept me, then
Doesn't
maybe
that suck?
Doesn't that
It's
suck?
scary. The thought that we're like, so they can leave just in case.
Exactly.
Like for me, that's definitely something that I deal with as like a plus size woman. It's like, oh my God, they're gonna see me without clothes on. And then I'm like, are they gonna dip after and never speak to me again because they find it unattractive?
So like, I'm gonna tell you now, so before it happens, you can leave now.
Yeah.
Before it's too late.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. And that's so unhealthy.
And that honestly is just an underlining fear of, like, what is it called? Like fear of, is it abandonment? Rejection. That's what it is. Because we had faced it for so long in our lives. I mean, I went through bullying. I went through like so much stuff with shit like that. So 100%. That fucking sucks. Society sucks.
Fuck society.
Fuck society. But I think the reoccurring thing throughout this entire video is that the key to relationships is literally communication. Like that's it.
Communication. 100%.
And it's difficult. It's something that I'm still learning to do, and I thought I was good at, but I am not. I saw this TikTok this morning when I was on the way over here, and it was a life coach talking about healthy relationships, and she was saying that healthy and real relationships, like true love, is something that you have to work for. And that's what we keep saying. Like, it's hard. It is hard. But it's because you have to face problems together instead of just ignoring them, and then that relationship ending up deteriorating and rotting because it got toxic, because it was dealing with issues that weren't dealt with.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly.
All right, camera died, but we're back. Cheers to Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
Cheers
Day.
to the first podcast. And cheers to the camera dying, because we're in a rush. This is the beginning of more, and there's no pressure on this one because it's the start to something new. So as we get more used to this, I mean, things are gonna get better, like a working mic and a familiar background. We're gonna be moving around a lot, but Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Spend it well, and yeah, I mean, cheers to friendships.
Cheers.
Cheers to friendships and all situationships.
And
lots of it. Overall though, I'm really happy and excited to start this like new journey that I'm on.
I'm excited for you.
I've been kind of like sharing it online because I love sharing things online. I think all in all, like I'm just excited, and I'm gonna be honest, like I feel like it's something that I deserve because I've been working on myself for so long, and I'm blushing.
And that's not in a cocky or prideful way.
No, it's
like,
not.
Genuinely, you deserve it.
I want everyone to feel this way one day. And yeah, I'm just super excited, and I'm blushing so hard right now.